Good morning, everyone. We welcome you to Zion Baptist Church live chat. This morning, we'll be looking at a very important segment of the population, the children. Children are very important in the family, the society, the church, the nation, and the world at large. According to the last census, the population of children in Nigeria is 46, and that is to tell us that children are very significant in the population of our country, Nigeria. That's based on that premise. We'll be looking at the topic child rights from the legal and the religious perspective. And I have with me this morning bright and beautiful upcoming lawyers that will be sharing their thoughts with us on this topic. I have to my right Adaramola Ifedamola
Ajibola Atoye Adebola.
and Okunola Titilereoluwa. So, having talked about children, we want to look at the rights of children. In Nigeria in particular, do children have rights? And what are these rights? Damola?
Yes, yes. Firstly, we should even talk about the definition of a child. According to the Child Rights Act 2003, Article 1 states that anybody below the age of 18 years is a child. Yes, children have a lot of rights in Nigeria. They have right to education, right to live a good life, right to social amenities and all in Nigeria.
Toyin, can we have your thoughts on this?
Well, to me, she's right. They all have equal rights to was stipulated in the Child Rights Act too. They have right to education, right to name, right to personal liberty, right to dignity, and right to freedom of speech.
In my own opinion, yes, according to the Child Rights Act of 2003, a child, according to Article 1, is anyone below the age of 18 years. And then, very importantly, a child has right to name, right to protection, and right to development and health. Because it has been seen and research has been conducted, and it said that if a child has very good education, there's something that the children, the United Nations Educational Policy say, and that's 3 P's. That's provision, participation, and protection. And then they believe that once a child has these 3 P's, then the child will be able to develop in the right form. That is, if you are provided for, if you are protected, and if your interests are taken into, like your decisions are considered, that's participation, then you'll be able to develop very well.
And this applies to these children regardless their race and religion.
Thank you very much. Looking at all of these rights, they are all sounding very well. How feasible are these rights, especially in our nation, Nigeria? And how much of the rights do even the children themselves know? Are the children in Nigeria aware of these rights?
So if you ask, okay, like looking at maybe when I was in maybe primary 4 or primary 5, and then you ask me what are my fundamental human rights, I'll tell you I have right to life, I have right to freedom of speech, but then there are some particular things I cannot say. So as a child, I feel like in civic education, right from primary school, we are taught that we have fundamental human rights, but then we are not exactly told that as a child we have rights, and many of these rights are not feasible. As we see today that they are not free health and amenities for children. Not all children go to school. We are seeing child marriage, and that's forced labor. And if you are looking at it, according to the article that Nigeria actually ratified, Nigeria ratified the act, all right, all fine, that's in 2003. But we can see that it's only the states that can codify it into law. And therefore, if a state does not codify it into law, it cannot be practiced in that state. And then we've seen that 11 out of the northern states have not codified it into law, meaning that a child in the north still doesn't have rights and liberty despite the act being regulated by the legislation. So we can see that it's only Lagos State in the whole of Nigeria that has embedded this into their law and are practicing it. Other states that have not codified it into law, like the remaining 24 states that have signed this, are not still even really practicing it. And then children still don't know their rights because there are checks and balance, and the checks and balance are the parents. Because the parents are the one that provide this, not the government. So then parents can say, oh, you can't do this, you cannot do that.
Thank you, Damola. Why do you think it's difficult for some states to codify? Let me use that language, codify these acts, yes, into law.
Okay, I feel it's difficult for them because of looking at our nation, Nigeria. Normally, as Titi said, the parents, everything is about check and balance. The parents are supposed to provide that. Then the government will protect it. Then looking at it, the states, they don't really protect the child's rights. They don't, because should I say, they don't care about it. And protection of these rights are very important and necessary. Even if the parents, even if they provide the things the children need, the state should still protect them, in the sense that you okay now seeing let's set an example now. A normal child, maybe an average family, they maybe after going to school and all, the parents can say, okay, so person, come and go to the market or go and do hawking and all. Normally, a child is not supposed to do that. And even if all these government officials, as maybe if they see them, they will just ignore. They ignore it. And it's not like they don't see it, but they ignore. So they don't protect these rights. Even if the parents are, even if they are trying to give the children the best, the government still don't protect it. And even if they see all these things, they are still supposed to, maybe if you see a child hawking and all, they're supposed to, okay, take me to your parents, and maybe even if, because we have the parents, maybe there are some parents that don't even know that it is bad, you educate them and tell them that next time you do this and this is what applies to you and all. But they
Okay,
don't do that.
thank you very much. So, from what you have said, I think in Nigeria, the Child Rights Act is still more of lip service.
Yes,
Because
especially in the north. In the north, half of these children, they don't even know their rights, because even from their child, from their birth, they are being given away to like elderly people, like, okay, this is the person you want to be. So that's like they are depriving them of their rights even from their birth.
So in the north, when I was like doing little research, I discovered that in the north, at least every child on that, and there's something that we also need to know, that according to a particular definition, once as a child you are married, you've lost all your rights as a child. You can no longer have rights as a child. You're already given to somebody, so you are considered the person's property. So you are no longer maybe the rights that you have as a child has been cancelled. So in the north, for example, where many children are given at the age of 10, 11, and then why I feel like they can't qualify it into law is because even the people in the National Assembly are guilty of this. Many of them are guilty of this. And then, but we that are in the south, we have a little, we have a little coverage because we believe that we are more enlightened. But over there, that they don't have so many enlightened people, and then the people that are representing them in the National Assembly, in the Senate, they themselves are not ready to stop this or pass a particular law because they're also indulging into the practice. Although many people say that we are trying to stop child marriage, but most of all these are just like publicity. Nobody has really gotten to the root of the problem, and that's education. And a child that has right to education and should not be married at that particular age. I feel like if education should be tackled in the north, then probably, and the bills, if they are better representative of the people, the bills will begin to change, and then maybe these laws will begin to be codified. Because as in the north, you can't say a child has rights to this or that.
Thank you. I think we talked about parents. Like when we talk about the issue of the child rights, it seems, from our discussion, parents have significant role to also play. Most parents in Nigeria, are they even aware of this child rights?
Well, to me, I don't think they are, because they believe they are still small to know their rights. Sorry, they give since that they are like older than them, they know more. But I think the government should make it like a program for the parents to like teach them their rights. So that in fact we have children like little children that are being violated right there these days, and the parents don't even know what to do about it. And the cases are more and more like that. So I think the government should take a step.
Um, Parents. When we are talking about parents, is I see it in two different ways, because let's take it from the ones that are enlightened. Yes, they know the rights of these children, and the ones that are not really enlightened, they don't know. So I feel an awareness should be created for these parents to know the rights of their children, so that even the children can be aware of their own rights too.
Sorry, please. I think I want us to discuss the issue of, in the African context or culture, it kind of gives parents, responsibility over children. And as parents, we believe that children don't really have, they are our, like our sole property, our possession, like we own them, and they are to do whatever we want them to do. So how would you look at this? I mean, from the angle of law now, since we're talking about child rights, because an average parent believes that whatever I want you to do, that's what you have to do. Most parents don't consider this issue of rights when they dish out instructions or tell children to do things. And that's why we still have some parents who force their children to work. Yes. Some of them force their children to do certain things. Sometimes even children, they tell them, I don't have money to send you to school. I want you to start selling pure water. And then the child does not have, any option. So I think I want us to discuss this.
Okay, so in my own opinion, I feel like the main problem is both the government and then the parents, because the first thing is, even an average parent, like an average person, how many people actually know their own rights, not even talk of the rights of the child? That's the first thing. And they're looking at it because it's not the government that will come and give you money to give your child food. It's not the government that will send your child to school. It's even the government schools that have been provided for are substandard, and then parents want to give. So I feel like when parents provide all these things, they provide amenities, they give the child food, protection, the things that the government states in this particular act that should be given, but then they don't make provision for. According to the article, so there's something that says that the all rights of the chapter 4 of the 1999 constitution should be applied to the child. And then that 1999 constitution, it includes things such as freedom of movement, freedom of expression, freedom of association. Where can a child be going to at any time? We say freedom of movement. I feel like these things should actually be really considered, because if the government doesn't provide the basic things and then its parents are providing it, there is a particular how like then the government doesn't really have like so much of a say, because if I'm the one sending the child to school, then I don't have the money. I'm like, okay, fine, I don't have the money, but and there's also an inclusive term in that Child Rights Act that says forced labor. No forced labor, but nobody looks at it because nobody is really aware, nobody's educated, nobody's enlightened on the rights of the children, and because the government are not also doing what they are supposed to do in the provision of the amenities and the welfare of a child.
So I feel that, we should look at this, comprehensively, from the angle of the children, from the angle of the parents, and then of course the angle of the government. A lot of our government, like we have all, I do like they're paying lip service to this convention, the Convention of the Rights of the Child, that has been signed by Nigeria. But yet we discover that even some of our governments are not, they don't care. So, and if I'm the one taking care of my child, I want to believe that, the child cannot come and say, cannot tell me I have rights. So I think that is still a very big problem. So what do you think we can do as a nation for, because I believe that oftentimes we just join many of these charter and sign all of these things without looking at it in our own context, and as a people, as a nation. So what can we do?
What can we do? I feel like one problem Nigeria has is that they sign everything. They try to ratify everything because they always try to seek international recognition. Even the United States did not ratify the CRC, that's the Convention of the Child's Rights. They didn't because they considered it from every angle, and looking at it, if over there they test their laws a lot, but we don't test our laws here. So over there, child, maybe parents are like, oh no, I can't do this for you. The next thing you see, the children are going to court, they are doing this, they are that, and they know that in their country there's a lot of freedom. So therefore, they realize that the wealthy and the one they're actually going to spend on is actually going to be too much. So they decided that they were not going to sign it. But Nigeria, we signed it, but then looking at it, it's not suitable to us. It's not something that we are supposed to be part of, because looking at it, these things are not right. I feel like there should be like they should sit down and actually analyze this thing critically. Looking at the African context, a child can't tell you, wake up one morning and tell your parents that they say freedom of expression. Okay, I don't want to go to school today. I don't want to do this, because they feel like no, in African society you can't. So I feel like most of all these laws, we're actually supposed to sit down and analyze them in our own context, like looking at the African society of. And the major thing that I feel like this law is supposed to protect is the right to a child's body. There is something there that you have full right to your body. Then you can't no child marriage, and then the issue of forced labor and child trafficking. These are the most important things. So not whether a child has right to walk wherever he wants to do, but these are the things that are supposed to be considered that are not really considered. So I feel like in order to protect a child, there has to be like a how will I put it, you have to go back, you have to sit down, analyze this in the African context. Let's understand it and repair our laws.
To buttress her point, I want to say that the government has actually made the parents look like they made, like what they are supposed to do is already on the parents, because what the government are supposed to provide for the children is the parent that is doing everything. Like all these government schools now that is available for the children, they still, like, the school fees is still much, and the parents are still the one paying for it and doing all those things that government is supposed to do. So they feel like the government cannot just come and say they own the children. The parents are already doing what the government is supposed to do. So I feel when the government take their responsibility and the parents do take their responsibility, it will not be contradicting each other.
So now, what do we do about children that are vulnerable? Like children who have lost their parents, children that, I don't know how many of you are aware of some children that are called street children. They don't have a home. So how do, these laws, this child right, how can it protect really these vulnerable children?
A part of the act actually where there's a kind of this adoption, or even a child home where they gather some children that are homeless, these so-called street child, take care of them. It's like the government and the NGOs contribute to their education, their feeding, their clothing, their shelter, and everything. And those kind of children, they put them off for adoption. And that adoption period is like for the family. They have to check the family background, the work of the parent, the man and the wife, if they are suitable for the adoption, and where they stay. That so they can ensure that the child are given basic amenities like education, shelter, food, and love and care to avoid them going back to the street again.
So now, what can we do about enforcement?
Mm, Enforcement actually has to be majorly in the government. I feel like you can't enforce something that you don't have, amenities, or you don't have provisions for. You can't enforce such laws. So the issue of this adoption and the children that have been molested or they are being forced to do things that they are not supposed to do. There should be like provisions for them and adequate provision because honestly, I feel like one very, very important thing that we lack is the protection of children. Many children can't, many children are not protected. And then enforcing these things, the government has to take critical steps into enforcing, letting everybody know awareness, enlightenment, and therefore redoing our laws, like sitting down and analyzing them again. Such way to be able to.
Yes, thank you very much. We quickly want to briefly talk about the religious perspective to the rights of a child. What's your opinion on this? As a Christian, what's your opinion on God and the rights of a child?
I feel like God is very interested in every one of us, whether adults or children. And then I remember in the Bible where children were coming to meet Jesus, and then the person were like, no, 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 don't come. And then he was like, let the children come up to me. Yeah, let the children come up to me. It means that Jesus Christ shows us that children who have a say, they can also, he also cares for them. There's also like a provision for them.
God loves children. Yes, He does. I see children I see children as the eyeball of Jesus Christ. Because what Titi said the other time, He loves children, and even there's no even no matter how small you are, if you pray as a child, God will listen to you and hear your prayer. So these children, going back to the society now, as Christian, let us let us um let us put our children in the way of the Lord, so that in any difficulties they will be able to consult their maker, their creator.
As God's children, I want us to know that God is interested in all of us, male, female, young or old. So God is very, very interested in the rights of everyone being maintained. According to the scriptures, we know that it is God that is the maintainer, that it is God that can maintain our laws. So we should know that yes, there are laws, there are the right of the child, our government and all of that. But as God's children, we should know that once we depending on the Lord to maintain our rights, and as God's children too, when we have the love of God in our heart, it will help us to also reach out to some of these vulnerable children to take care of them, because we see that God is interested in the orphans, the poor, the aliens, and even the widows. So God is very interested in protecting the rights of children. We want to say a very big thank you to you for listening. Until another time on Zion Baptist Church Live Chat. Thank you and stay blessed.